Welcome back, everyone. You know how this works. But if you don't, before we continue with the story, if you are new to this series, I implore you to pause the video and go watch the previous episodes of this series, since there's no fun to jump straight into a story without knowing what's going on. The link to the series playlist is down in the description below. Now, with that said, let's begin. Chapter 12. Dark Remembrance. What do you mean Maylene isn't here? Violet says with rage in her voice. I'm sorry, Miss Violet. The gym leader is out on important business. I am sure she'll be back later on. The gym's greeter says calmly, though he is hiding an annoyance in his voice. Violet grits her teeth. Do you have an idea when she will be back? Violet asks. No. Like I said, she'll be back later on. Now, if there is no further business to conduct, I have to ask you to leave. Good day. Violet grudgingly suppresses her anger and turns around and leaves the gym. Dante follows close behind her, fearing she may snap into a rage. When she is out of the gym, she lets out a few choice curses and moves to sit down on the bench near the gym. So we could check out the mall or even the game corner to pass the time until Maylene returns, Dante suggests, looking around his favorite city of the Sinnoh region. No, let's go check out the old galactic headquarters for Professor Rowan. See what's going on over there, Violet says, standing back up. Okay, I'll follow your lead. Violet leads the way through the city until they are in the shadows of the building being retaken by nature. Vines cover the building, and a tree has grown from the crack near the side of the building. Black SUVs are parked around the building, and men dressed in dark militarized uniforms patrol the area with strange rifles in their hands. What is this? Violet says in a low voice, peering out from around the corner of the building. There is no way we're getting in the front door, Dante says, peeking over her shoulder. Rowan was right. Something strange is going on here. We need to get in there. Dante agrees, and an idea comes to him. I think I know a way. There is a warehouse over the west side of the city that Team Galactic used during their time. I think there is a way into the main building from there. Violet cracks a smile and turns around to face Dante. I'm really starting to enjoy you being around. Let's go check it out. Dante now leads the way through the city, past the towering mall, and to the western side of the city. The warehouse is there, and no signs of men are around. One of the large metal doors is raised, giving them a way in. They run as fast as they can and enter into the old building. The smell of rotting wood fills the air as the crates from years ago remain untouched and in a state of decay. Violet pulls out her trusty flashlights and hands one over to Dante. We've been using these way too often lately. How about after this, we avoid dark places for a while? Dante says, shining the light around the loading area. Agreed. Now let's find a way into the HQ. Violet says, looking for a door or any sign of a door. Dante notices a set of footprints in the thick dust on the floor and shines the light to where they lead. Vi, I think we have company, Dante whispers. Did you just call me Vi? She says, walking over to Dante. Yeah, that bad? He asks, fearing he may have triggered something in her. No, just new. Violet looks at the tracks. They both slowly follow them, and they lead to a large locked steel door. Don't happen to have a lockpick, do you? Violet asks, looking at the lock. No, I left those at home, Dante says sarcastically. How thick do you think that door is? 6 inches? 7? Violet studies the door, running her hands over the lock and then the hinges. I think I have an idea, she says with a side smile. Moments later, both Dante and Violet are behind some of the rotting crates, and Flareon stands in front of the door. Okay, Flareon, you have to give it everything you have, girl. Fire blast! Violet calls out and then ducks behind the crate. Flareon growls as she charges her power. Her entire body begins to glow with fiery energy, and then finally she lets out a massive fire blast. It hits the steel door with an explosion that shakes the very building. Dante peeks around and sees the blasted inward door still glowing white hot from the heat. Well, whoever's in there, they know we're here now, Dante says, standing up from behind the crate. Good. They know we're strong enough to destroy that door? Good job, Flareon. Return. Once Flareon is back in her ball, they carefully make their way through the destroyed door and into the lit hallway of the old galactic headquarters. They make their way down the hall until they come to a large empty room stripped of everything that was once here. Just as Dante opens his mouth to say something, a powerful aura sphere slams into the ground, sending both Dante and Violet down to their backsides. Who are you? A hard feminine voice says through the smoke from the aura sphere. I know that voice, Dante says. He stands up and helps Violet to her feet. Maylene? Dante calls out. He waves his hand to clear the smoke and sees the hardened fighting-type gym leader with her aged Lucario standing at the entrance of an adjoining hall. You're kids. Why are you down here? It's dangerous here, Maylene says, her voice changing from harsh to motherly. We're hardly kids, Violet says with a touch of anger. We are here on order of Rowan. He wants to know what's going on here. Sorry for attacking you. I thought you were one of them. And who exactly is them? Dante asks. That's what I'm still trying to figure out. They've been here a while now, almost a month, stripping everything from the old Galactic building. This place should have been torn down after Cyrus was killed and Team Galactic was gone, Maylene says with anger in her voice. Well, since we're on the same side now, how about we make our way through this place together? Violet suggests. Maylene agrees, knowing the power in numbers, and they begin to make their way through the bowels of the Galactic HQ. They find the stairs leading to the next floor and then continue through the maze of halls and rooms. Each room is stripped bare. No evidence of the darkness that was here so many years ago remains. Moving up to the second floor, they now hear footsteps of the mysterious armed men, and their voices echoing as they talk over their radios. They creep to the edge of the hall that leads to what used to be the command room. Men are there going through the computers and the desks that remain here. A tall, bald man stands in the center, his rifle slung over his back and a ditto on his shoulder. Make sure you find everything. We can't leave anything behind, he commands, his voice harsh and used to dishing out orders. Violet leans closer to Dante. Well, it seems we know who's in charge here, Violet whispers in his ear. He nods and leads over to Maylene. So what now? Sit and listen or what? We attack, she says rashly and then orders Lucario to use an aura sphere. The ball of energy slams at the bald man's feet and explodes. Smoke fills the room and everyone has their rifles pointed at the hallway. Rash idiot, Violet growls as she takes a hold of Flareon's Pokeball. Dante, be ready for a fight. Use Grotto here. Dante nods and takes a hold of his Pokeball that houses his friend. The smoke from the explosion clears, and it's clear this won't be a Pokemon fight, as everyone in the room has their strange rifles aimed at them. And just who do you think you are coming in here and attacking us? The bald commander says with a snarl. The ditto on his shoulder mimics his statement in a higher pitch and snarls as well. I am Maylene, gym leader and protector of Veilstone City. Why are you here? She demands to know. This isn't your concern. Men, subdue them and escort them from the facility, he orders. Oh, that won't be happening, Violet says and tosses out Flareon. Dante does the same, bringing out Grotto, and they stand ready for battle. Sir, you want us to open fire? One of the men asks. Nah, I'll take care of them myself. He shrugs Ditto off his shoulder, and it lands with a plop as its body reacts to the impact. Ditto, transform. Order 0243. Ditto mimics the numbers, and its body shifts and grows until it's in the form of the legendary Pokemon Raikou. The transformed Pokemon growls at them and is ready to draw blood. As the shock of seeing what just become of the Ditto, Maylene steadies herself and is ready to take on this copy. Enough! A voice echoes from the balcony overlooking the room. Everyone looks up as Lucius Von Croft steps over to the balcony railing. Darius, return your Ditto to its Pokeball now. These are our guests. Lucius looks over at Maylene. Please, forgive my men. They need to be taught manners. Mr. Von Croft, why are you and your Horizon Company here in my city? Maylene questions. I'll be down in a moment, and I'll explain it all, Miss Maylene, Lucius says and disappears down a hall. The air is thick as Darius returns his transformed Ditto to its Pokeball, and all the men stand down. Lucius enters from the other hall and walks over to the group. Please, accept my forgiveness for my men's harshness. And to answer your question, we are confiscating what remains of the Team Galactic research so it's never used for evil. The International Police should have taken care of this years ago, but we all know of their incompetence. He turns to both Dante and Violet and smiles, remembering them. Well, if it isn't Mr. Larkin, Miss Oak, it's a small world now, isn't it? I see your Turtwig evolved, Dante. Congratulations, he says, smiling at them. Dante smiles with a starstruck feel in him. Thanks, Mr. Von Croft. How long will your men be here? Maylene asks. Lucius looks over at Darius. Be about 5 more days, sir, and we should have everything. Darius answers without needing to be questioned. Make it 2. I don't want the people of Veilstone bothered by us any longer. Is that okay, Miss Maylene? She nods, but still isn't happy about how this business is being conducted. I guess I will be leaving then, she says coldly. Before she returns, Violet remembers about her challenge. Maylene, will you be back at the gym? I want to challenge you. I will, and I accept your challenge. I'll be waiting. And with that, she and her Lucario leave. Lucius smiles. The way you handled that horde of Graveler back in Mount Coronet, you should give her quite the fight. Would it be okay if I come to watch this match? Lucius asks. Dante's eyes light up and he looks at Violet with a wide smile. I don't see anything wrong with that, do you, Violet? Violet gives Dante a weird look and then looks at Lucius. I guess it wouldn't hurt, she says hesitantly. Wonderful, Lucius says with a smile. I'll meet you at the gym then. He turns to Darius. Make sure you put double the men working to clear this place. I do want us out of here in 2 days. Yes, sir, the commander answers. Dante, you head there with Lucius. I'm going to make a quick stop at the Pokémon Center to give my Pokémon a quick recharge. Violet says, her voice hiding something. Okay, Dante answers enthusiastically. Lucius leads the way for them, and they exit through the main entrance. They split up, and Violet heads towards the Pokémon Center. Violet boots up the communication PC. It connects and rings, waiting for the recipient to answer. Ah, Violet. Have you reached Veilstone yet? Professor Rowan asks. I have, and I have looked into what you asked about. The disturbances in the Galactic HQ? They were from Horizon Company. Von Croft himself is here conducting an operation. Said he is gathering the tech that Cyrus had to make sure it's never used again. Violet explains. That doesn't sound right. The Horizon Company has been conducting a lot of shady business recently. Rowan strokes his thick white beard while thinking. Is there any more you need, Professor? She asks. Rowan nods. Call me before you leave Veilstone. I may have something more to ask of you. Will do, Professor. Violet shuts down the computer and heads out of the Pokémon Center and walks down the road leading to her 4th gym battle of the Sinnoh region. And that is the end of Chapter 12. Please leave feedback and your thoughts in the comments below. It helps me grow and change the story so it doesn't turn into something you don't want to listen to. What do you think of the Horizon Company? Are there good deeds for the better of the world? All feedback, negative and positive, is welcomed. If you enjoyed this video, please share this series around so others can enjoy it as well, and leave a like so I know you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter for updates on anything and everything Pokemon, as well as to know when all my videos go live. The link to my Twitter is in the description of every video. And as always, this has been Black Phoenix. Thanks for watching.